Is Valorant spyware?
So, is Valorant malware? Is it a CCP rootkit or spyware or
Whoa. Is this the guy?
spyware or just another game?
It is the guy, the PC security channel. Chat, I kind of want to watch this, bro.
Just another game. Well, today
Didn't Riot get bought by, not to put like another dimension on it, but didn't Riot get bought by Tencent or something? Yeah.
we have a test system.
Dude, I remember ordering a Huawei laptop, and I bought it from the official like website, and it arrived. I needed it for uni. I arrived. I booted up for the first time, and it told me that I have a Trojan, like Windows Defender. Bro, nah, I swear to God, it came with some extra stuff. Let's just say that.
And
Bro,
we're going to monitor
I'm not
it
even
and
kidding.
try to answer this
I'm not even
question
kidding.
definitively.
And then I googled and they said as well, like, yeah, Huawei, you just get Windows again, like new one,
Once and for all.
like redo Windows or something.
Which hopefully will also answer questions about similar applications and anti-cheat software in general. Are invasive applications a risk to your security, and what should you do about it? So first off, I want to say it should be kind of obvious, but when you install Valorant on your computer, it makes a lot of connections, and I mean a lot. Most of these are to the servers across the Riot CDN network. But what kind of data is it sending, and where? Well, that's a difficult question to answer because the data itself is going to be encrypted, so you're not going to be able to tell. Even if I were to trace some of these individual connections, like the IP addresses that it connects to, most of these are going to be Amazon servers in a nearby location, so you can't really tell where the data is really going after that. But here's some facts. If we do a quick search, the Riot Games, the company behind Valorant, is owned completely by the Chinese mega giant Tencent.
That's what
now,
I said.
Asking if Tencent is interested in spying on you is like asking if the dog wants its bone. In certain situations, the answer may be no, but in general, it's a resounding yes. So we're going to continue with our investigation of the behavior, but knowing the ownership where we can't find answers, we're going to have to assume the worst. So let's start with the client and what it does. We take a look at Process Explorer and examine all the Valorant processes. We have the Riot client services, seems perfectly safe. And if we examine the loaded DLLs, nothing strange here either. Now, if we take a look at Vanguard, which is the actual anti-cheat application, this particular exe doesn't really do anything. This is based in program files, and it's only a simple 3 meg application. But do not make the mistake of assuming that this is the Vanguard application. This is the notification application for Vanguard. The real anti-cheat is embedded deep within your system as a driver. Now, where you
As a driver. Dude, I remember screenshots of people like trying to uninstall Valorant and it says like 2 terabytes or something. Like the whole drive. Like while you have it open, it like takes everything. I wonder if he goes into that, like why that is. Because to me, as I don't know what it means. Like I couldn't explain like how. It's a Windows bug. Okay. I wonder if we will talk about it.
Are going to see it is if we ignore all of this and take a deeper look at the system. And here we have a list of DLLs that are loaded, including drivers like AMD drivers, kernel drivers, display drivers, Bluetooth. And if we scroll through this list, we're eventually going to find Vanguard, vdk.sys, which is a kernel mode driver by Riot Games. So when you see discussions on Reddit about Valorant being malware or spyware, most people just look at this and panic, because this is essentially like a rootkit. It's a driver that's embedded within your system. But it's also important to have some perspective here. So I want to look at a competitor to Valorant, Counter-Strike 2, and their Faceit anti-cheat. So if we head over to my system...
Oh god, is Faceit gonna be worse or not? Nobody ever talks about this. I don't even know. Faceit anti-cheat is also kernel, no?
Where I do have Faceit's anti-cheat running. And similarly, look at the system. We are also going to find the Faceit anti-cheat loaded as a system driver. So this behavior itself is not unique to Vanguard. If you want an application to be able to monitor and police what's happening on your system, it has to be embedded in the system. And it's the same reason the next thing on the list is Malwarebytes anti-ransomware protection. Now, this is again one of the things that people on Reddit, when they see Kaspersky installed,
Vanguard, Tencent, aka China, Faceit, ESL Faceit Group, aka Saudi. Both okay with me. Have my data. It's fine.
Install a driver like this. They're like, oh, it's Russian spyware, and completely ignore the fact that every other AV needs to have their driver embedded there as well. But here's the thing that makes Valorant
as long as it's not the Netherlands or Germany, we Gucci.
Faceit's anti-cheat can be turned off at any time, and if I wanted to, I could simply relaunch it, opening the app. But with Valorant,
not that I have anything to hide, just to make that clear.
If I want to go ahead and exit out of Vanguard, it gives me a warning saying that the game depends on its functionality and will stop working until I restart my computer. And that is actually correct. So if I go ahead and exit it, I can no longer play the game. And if we try, there's an error message saying,
No. You can't play the game no more. No.
that I need to reboot the computer. And this is a huge difference because effectively, someone who wants to play Valorant needs to have a Vanguard running on their system all the time, whether they're playing the game or not. You could be browsing the internet for 6 hours before you decide to get into a Valorant game, and Vanguard's going to be running the whole time if you want to be able to quickly start up and load your game when you want to play. Now, for you technical folk, there are also different levels of kernel access, and it turns out Valorant needs very significant kernel access. And that's one of the excuses as to why it needs to load up with the system when you restart. But that's not convincing for me, especially considering there are other applications that manage to do it without. And then when you add a nefarious end-user license agreement that includes a forced arbitration, so you can't even have a class action lawsuit against them, I don't know, but that just sounds a little bit messed up. I can't look into these connections and tell you if they're spying on you the whole time or if they're only sending information when the game is launched. We simply don't have that access. But ask yourself, if you want to run Tencent software 24/7 on your computer, in theory monitor everything you do. If I were an anti-cheat software, why?
I wonder if Tencent, because they know that Valorant is kernel level anti-cheat. I wonder if that was like part of the reason why they acquired that, you know? Probably, bro. Maybe. I don't know. There's a successful game with kernel level anti-cheat. May have been like a reason of the acquisition. I don't know.
Why would I need to be running on someone's computer the whole time? Simply doesn't make sense. And I think this is what we need to pay more attention to. The behaviors that we're being forced into. Not necessarily the fact that it loads a kernel level driver, because applications do that. What concerns me more is they have set up...
They bought it before Valorant. Okay, never mind.
The system in a way that people are going to have this application from Tencent running on their computer the whole time, whether or not they're playing Valorant. And I'm just not convinced of the reasons for it. So look, if you really enjoy playing Valorant, what I would suggest is just exit Vanguard whenever you stop playing Valorant. I know it's going to be a little bit more inconvenient to have to restart your system when you want to start playing, but I don't think you should give an anti-cheat application a permanent place in your memory. And as a principle, I think it makes sense to ask why an application is doing what it's doing. If you're an AV, it makes sense for you to want to have a driver to monitor everything all the time. But if you're an anti-cheat for a game, you only need to be running when the game is running. Now, of course, this could all just be a technical implementation thing. But the more I think about it, Tencent, Chinese ownership, data collection, and then, an anti-cheat system that conveniently is set up in a way that in order to have a good gaming experience, you just need to let it run on your computer the whole time. I don't know. There's something about that puts me off. It just seems to line up too conveniently for a data collection company like Tencent. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know if you enjoy these kinds of analysis videos. Now, since we did notice the Malwarebytes driver, I thought this would be a great video to show the newest version. So there's sponsor. They have a brand new UI.
Dude, W video. And, oh man, it's like CS could probably as well have quickly like a nice anti-cheat. But they don't want to do the kernel level thing, you know? It's against their philosophy. The thing is like, I don't know, like most people don't care, right? I don't care. I would rather have a nice anti-cheat than... Like I don't really care. I'm not this like data freak of like, oh no, but this data leaked and this, that. I don't really care. I don't know. I just want to play the game without cheaters, you know? I don't know. What is China gonna do with it?